asked me whether my feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples. Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use. Honestly, I
you
don't.
Can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't actually use that for you feed anymore. Because I just don't particularly like it.
But you
and
said
actually, a lot of people are quite similar. I only look at
hang on a second.
my
You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And
then how did you see that hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen for you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
What's going on, everyone? Stocks Weekend here today. That was eloquently done. You see how when the journalists are pressed for evidence or proof to back up their claims, they can't seem to answer the question, right? Elon Musk is asking some question. Hey, give me an example. The guy's stumbling, doesn't even know what to say. He's like, oh, like he wasn't expecting that. And to me, as an interviewer, how would I come into an interview not prepared to back up any claims that I make in the interview, right? If you say, hey, I personally witnessed that more hateful comments are on my feed, and it should be easy to give an example, especially if you've been there 6 months ago, even if you're not using the app anymore. You could be like, oh yeah, 6 months ago, this was going on. This was going on. What do you say about that? How do you address that, Elon Musk? No. Elon Musk just like, yo, I need an example. And this is what happens when you actually try to participate in dialogue. Like you're actually trying to have a conversation with somebody. The other side has to contribute to it too. And I think this is my problem with journalists. And if you've been following the channel, you saw my live about journalism is propaganda at this point, is that these journalists, they want the license to control what you see. Right? They want you to be able to like, oh, don't look at this inconvenient fact. Look at this fact, this thing. Look what happened here. Isn't it? This is bad, right? They're in the job of parroting popular talking points, right? Because it seems like I heard this from Tim Pool. It seems like these journalists, these mainstream journalists, they don't want to be that odd person out. So they'll just parrot everything everyone else is saying. If someone said this is misinformation, I guess it's misinformation. And this is what it seemed like to me. It seemed like he just heard it from a second party source, and he just like, well, all my other journalist friends are saying it. Oh, PBS is saying it, so I guess I got to say it too. And this is how you get it look like everyone's on sync. Oh, look, all these sources are saying the same thing. Well, they all could be referencing bad information, but he doesn't even like critically think at that point. But hey, I digress on that point. So in this next clip, you're gonna see that Elon Musk just pretty much flat out calling him a liar. So that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be entertaining, right? Let's take a look right now.
Seen for you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
And I'm saying,
I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of hateful content, not even one tweet, and yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well,
that's false.
No, what I claimed...
You just lied.
What I claimed was there are many organizations that say that that kind of information is on the rise. Now, whether it has on my feed or not... I mean, right, and
literally
you can look at something
one.
like this...
Wow, that's crazy. Right? The guy's sitting here talking about, and then he gets called out to his face about it. They say, hey, that's absurd. You just lied. Oh, no, I didn't. All you have to do is like, hey, look, I didn't personally witness this. This is I heard this information from third-party sources. Do you think this sources have any validity to it, right? And this is why I'm saying that civilian journalism is on the rise, right? People don't trust mainstream media anymore. Most people see mainstream journalists as paid talking heads. Hey, here's the script. We want you to purport this script to American society. This is why people are more likely to get their news off of social media now than from mainstream sources. And mainstream sources will try to paint people who get their information from social media as being fake news or not legitimate journalists. I'm done with all the pleasantries. I'm done with this credentialized gatekeeping that journalists are doing. Oh, he didn't get a degree in journalism. He didn't go to journalism school. And to me, journalism is not, you don't ask permission to be a journalist. You just go be a journalist. You do journalism, right? The reason you identify with something is because you do it. You don't have to go to school you don't have to get a degree in basketball to be a good basketball player. You just go out and do it. And this is what journalism is. And this is why I have such a, not disdain for college, but such a skepticism towards college. Because it seems like college is all it is a gatekeeping mechanism used to filter out people, right? Who'll be perfectly qualified for the job, but you have this arbitrary standard that, oh, you need to get this piece of paper. I need proof that you've been indoctrinated in these colleges before I can hire you. It makes no sense. This is why I hope James O'Keefe's company takes off, because I believe we need more civilian journalists. Anyway, that's how journalism started anyway. If you watch my live stream about journalism, we went through the history of journalism. It started off as people like me and you, just, reporting the news. Oh, I saw someone do something, and then you put it out there in the public in printed press, right? Because this one stance I take. I don't want to tell people how they should think about these issues. I'm giving a point of view where I'm trying to persuade my viewers to agree with my conclusions, right? I'm trying to convince you. I'm not trying to tell you what to think. Oh, if you don't think like this, you're a bigot. No, that's not journalism. That's propaganda. But hey, I digress. Now, this is going to be a longer clip. Elon Musk is going to go and ask him a simple question, right? Now, he can't give examples. He can't answer questions. Elon Musk really gets him on this one. And this is about misinformation. And who decides that? Let's take a look.
For things like hate speech, do you think you prioritize freedom of speech over misinformation and hate speech?
Well, who's to say that something is misinformation? Who's the arbiter of that? Is it the BBC?
You're literally asking me?
Yes.
Well, no, you are the arbiter on Twitter, because you own Twitter.
Yes, I'm saying who is to say that one person's misinformation is another person's information? The point at which you say that there is this is misinformation, like who is going to decide that?
You accept that misinformation can be dangerous, that it can cause real-world harms, that it can potentially cause...
Yes, and the point I'm trying to make is that the BBC itself has, at times, published things that are false. Do you agree that that has occurred?
I'm quite sure the BBC have said things before that turn out to not be true.
Correct.
In its, whatever it is, 100-year history, I'm quite sure.
Yes. Even if you aspire to be accurate, there are times when you will not be.
Agreed. Who could disagree with that? And yes, I do believe that Elon Musk values free speech over cracking down on misinformation, because at the end of the day, we're human. We all are fallible. We all could be wrong about something. Based on current information, we can be like, hey, this is a good idea. And then when the evidence and the facts come out, once we observe a different result, we go, oh, our theory was wrong about this. I admit that I was wrong about this issue. This is why I think civilian journalism is the future of journalism in the future. Like, anyone who gets a degree from journalism school, people are going to be like, you've been you're an indoctrinated person. I mean, look at the VP from Bud Light. She got her degree. She went to all this fancy smancy school, and I knew what she did was a bad idea. I didn't need a college degree to learn that was a bad idea. But apparently she gets all these useless theories, and she thinks she can push this idea. Like, she's so head and shoulders above everyone. No. College has lost its purpose. It's not here to teach people how to think, what to think about things. And that's what it seemed like it turned into. Oh, this is an institution. You learn how to do exactly the way we do things here. No innovation is going to come from no college person. I'm sorry. That's my take on it. Innovation happens from doers. People who, hey, school of hard knocks, common sense, observation, empirical evidence. College students don't value that anymore. You bring any type of facts into the conversation, they go, they're stumbling like this BBC journalist. Elon Musk methodically is just breaking down all his points. He said, who decides what something is misinformation or not? And this is this psyop that these journalists are trying to do. Oh, we get our information from authoritative sources, aka, hey, these people with credentials, aka, hey, these established media companies. This is where you get your information from. YouTube does it already. They won't recommend videos like mine for news, but they'll recommend Fox News, CNN, and then MNSBC, whatever that. I don't know why you name your thing that, but I digress. Right? They'll recommend those because those are authoritative sources, because they got $1 billion behind them that somehow makes them more credible than little old me reporting the same news. Except I'm actually more honest about my stance on these things. But they won't say, "Oh no, we're objective journalists." No, you're not. I don't believe in 2023. I believe no mainstream media company is objective. NPR is getting flack right now because they don't want to admit that they're government funded. Even it's 1% of our budget. Okay, then when you look through it, they were created from an act of Congress. A law created your company, but you're not government sponsored or government funded. Okay, bro. If you're not government funded, then hey, don't take money from the government anymore to improve your credibility. No, you get called out now. They don't want to tweet on Twitter. These are the kind of people that run these journalism mainstream. They can't take any scrutiny. They can't take any questions. Oh, give me an example. All it seems like to me is journalists are just glorified critics. That's all it is. They're not here to actually give you any information. They're just telling you. They just want to steer you where you should go. They want to just give you a conclusion and want you to accept it. I digress. This next part is, I think, will be about hate speech, and you can see what when people say, "Oh, free speech it does not equal hate speech," you're gonna see as bright as day what they actually mean by hate speech. Let's take a look.
Content you don't like or hateful? What do you mean to describe a hateful thing?
Yeah, I mean, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying.
Well, I'm just curious. I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content, and I'm asking for specific examples. And you just said that if something is slightly sexist, that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be banned?
Well, bravo. And that's what it is. Hate speech is something I don't like. I don't like my positions challenged. I don't like that I was called fake news. We all said, hey, the mask is good for you. The mask will prevent COVID. We want everyone to wear a mask. Someone comes out, a regular person like me or you come out and say, hey, well, mask has been proven not to work. They don't like that. They don't like to hear that information. Oh, how dare you challenge me? Are you calling me wrong on this issue? And these journalists try to paint themselves as if they're the arbiters of truth, and truth, oh wait, they always get everything right. It's like they don't want to admit that they're mere mortals like us. That no, I got a journalism degree. I work for the BBC. There's no way I could be wrong, right? And this is what it really about. It's like challenging power. They don't like to be challenged, and this is what they constitute as hate speech. Oh, you're saying something differently than the establishment news media. You're wrong, right? And at this point, it seems like they're not trying to get it right or wrong. They're not trying to report on the facts. They're just trying to get you to reach a certain conclusion. And you see it there. Because minute Elon asked him for his personal opinion on the thing, he's and then when Elon asked him to define, it seems like journalists have a hard time defining things. And that's because they're not trying to give you the truth. They're just trying to paint a narrative and trying to get you to accept the narrative. Right. And they know if they define terms, people can disagree with their definition of those terms. So they tend to be as vague as possible. So that way you come into your own conclusion about things. Right. Racist to him can mean if you say anything negative about black people, even if it's true. Racism to you is that if someone espouses hatred towards black people, but he's going to say, hey, this comment was racist, won't define it. So you come to your own conclusions, no matter what definition, no matter how you define racism. And I think that's the game they playing. Right. But hey, I digress. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do you agree, disagree? You love Elon Musk's takedown? I would like to hear your takes on the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate you guys for watching to the end of the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.